YYachts have created something quite extraordinary, the Breeze 75. This 23-metre long day sailor was created in conjunction with Kosuti Yacht Design, and while she looks stunning from the outset, there are some innovative details above and below decks. The most obvious is her fold-down bulwarks that create a spacious and beamy aft deck when she's at anchor. This, along with a beamy, clutter-free cockpit, makes the most use of the space that's available. For those with racing in mind, she's been designed to be sailed by a crew of 6 and uses water ballast to generate additional righting moment and power when she needs it. Below decks, the interior was styled by Wendover Studio and is as striking as it is simple in layout, which, as it happens, is a good way of describing pretty much every aspect of this stunning looking day sailor.
Hudson Yacht Group, the builders of Cats, know that efficient power generation is a big issue for many of their clients. The sports version of their HH44 and 52 models incorporates the kind of advanced tech you'd expect, like C-section carbon dagger boards and carbon spars. But this configuration also has more than 4.2 kilowatts of solar and regeneration power. And it's the parallel hybrid diesel-electric eco-drive system that the company is particularly proud of, as it can also act as a hydro generator while sailing. Cats claim that the system can deliver 1.5 to 3 hours of electric propulsion without requiring a large battery bank. Combined with the solar panels, the system is said to be capable of generating 50 kilowatts of power that's stored in the lithium batteries. So perhaps it's not surprising that nearly all of the HH44s, 52s and 60s currently on order have the eco-drive box ticked.
Design guru Judel Vrolik had been asked a question. Was it possible to create a modern, competitive, short-handed IRC racer in the spirit of the original Class 40 with the ability to cruise? The answer wasn't obvious, but after a great deal of research and development, they believe they've created the solution, the JV43. As you might expect, the overall beamy scow-type looks are very much that of the modern breed of Class 40s. The 5-winch cockpit layout and the crew protection clearly comes from the latest thinking in this fleet too. But unlike the hollow shells of a modern Class 40 below decks, the JV43 has an interior, and one that weighs in around 150 to 200 kilos right on top of the keel. The sail plan is based on the successful 42-footer Eno, but uses the same spar tooling and the same deck hardware as modern Class 40. And being built by Ocean Tech in Slovenia, in a 3-stage vacuum infusion of e-glass and core cell foam, the JV43 gets another tick in the box.
The benefits of a wing sail over a conventional sail are well known. The trouble is that managing a wing sail is often much harder. Until now. The ACC Wing has a carbon mast with no spreaders, around which a soft wing sail rotates. The really clever bit is the way in which the camber of the sail can be changed on either side of the sail. Changing the shape is achieved by pumping air into what the company calls mussels. These are made of thin silicon tubing and are attached on either side of the sail. Pumping air in shortens the tubes, which creates a concave shape on the windward side. The tubing is very thin and uses very little air, which means there's no big power draw. On their 56 square metre prototype rig, they used a dive bottle which lasted for a week of sailing. The list of benefits is long, but aside from being very efficient, it's said to be extremely easy to handle. In short, it's an ingenious solution to a time-honoured problem.
Yachts needs no introduction. Famous for its slippery performance, ease of handling and distinctive good looks, it must be difficult to keep moving the game forwards, but apparently not. According to Yachts, the XC47 is the beginning of a new generation, a high-performance blue water cruiser that has been designed to be handled short-handed. The process meant a detailed study of every detail from the deep V bow, the wider stern and the soft chines, to the precise runs of control lines and deck gear positions. And while they believe that these and other detailed refinements make for a better boat, what will be most noticeable to anyone who knows the brand is the striking new superstructure style. They call it their semi-deck saloon, which provides more light and a better view from down below. Company CEO Crane Brink Nielsen says the XC47 is probably the best yacht they've ever built. Now that's quite a claim that will no doubt be judged by the public at the Dusseldorf Boat Show in January. Winning the Cape to Rio race is guaranteed to attract attention, but when you achieve it in a 52-foot cruising cat, expect heads to turn. And that is precisely what happened when the Balance 526 Nori took line honours in the 2023 race. Balance Cats was set up in 2013 by Hobie Cat World Champion Philip Berman. His goal was to create comfortable cruising built cats that had long legs and could perform while carrying a decent payload. Their first boat was the 526, which quickly led to a 580 and a 620, all built by the Parman brothers in St Francis, USA. But as demand continued to grow, Balance Catamarans Cape Town was set up to build the 442 and the 482 models. To describe this as a success would be a big understatement. No less than 40 of the 442s have been ordered since its debut in 2022. And it doesn't stop there. Apparently, there's a Balance 750 on the way.
The growing sports boat and high performance scene has triggered a rethink for clothing, which has resulted in Musto expanding its LPX range. In essence, it's a more streamlined version of the new HPX Ocean Spec kit, with the focus on making it easier to move around. Pockets, collars and hoods, along with many other details, came up for review in order to ensure that the new designs work well in the fast-moving sports boat environment. But the new range seeks to go further in catering for a wide range of conditions, from sunshine and no breeze to breeze and driving rain. The new kit is also designed to be used ashore and afloat, which is good news for the many crews who need to arrive in what they intend to wear for the day.
The self-tailing winch. What more can be said about a device that's been with us for around 50 years? Well, according to Ronstan, we've been missing a trick for decades. Because their new Orbit winch is not only a very clever piece of innovative thinking, but could change the way we handle our sails. The benefits of a self-tailing winch are obvious when you're sheeting in, but easing out is more tricky and often requires the winch handle to be removed. But with the Orbit, a simple rotation of the top of the winch with one hand and the line can be eased with the other without taking the line out of the jaws. Plus the winch handle stays in too. And if that isn't enough, the entire winch can be disassembled without any tools in under a minute. Hardly surprising perhaps that the Orbit winch has already won a major award.
For the 37th America's Cup cycle, Jeddah in Saudi Arabia is the only racing venue that's outside Spain, and the region is keen to prove that it's a good fit. Samir Baghdadi is the CEO of the Saudi Sailing Federation and was instrumental in bringing the America's Cup preliminary event to Jeddah. A keen kiteboarder, she was one of the first 4 women to head up a sports federation in Saudi Arabia and is keen to point to the changes that are taking place across sport in the region. Over 35 Saudi federations are claimed to now have a women's national team. Baghdadi believes that the AC40 event will play a big part in opening up sailing in the region. New initiatives, including a Discover Sailing programme to encourage people onto the water and a performance pathway programme for talented sailors to train at the top level, are said to be 2 examples.
Racing around the Western Approaches proves to be very popular. The 4th edition of the Drheam Cup in 2022 received 134 entries, and it's easy to see why. I should know, I've taken part. From mini 6.5s, figure 8.3s and IRC fleets among others through to the Class 40s, IMOCAs and the giant Ulteam Tries. This is a race designed to appeal to all classes of offshore racing. The variety of courses are at the heart of the success. While all classes start from the same line off Cherbourg and finish at around the same time in La Trinité-sur-Mer, the courses reflect the variety of entries. The IRC boats, multi-2000s and the smaller older multi-hulls have a 600-mile course via Wolf Rock. The IMOCAs, Class 40s, Ocean 50 tries have a longer 1,000-mile course that sees them round the Fastnet Rock. And while the old teams also round this famous rock, they go via the Isle of Man before heading to Bilbao and onto the finish line in France. The race starts on the 15th of July.